even listen, and I hate to do this. I hate to do this because I don't even rock with Fresh and Fit. But the truth of the matter is, if I'm being 100% objective, most people pay attention to their late night show where they kicking women out. But a lot of their content is focused on making sure that the guys get their education when it comes to finances and cryptocurrency.
More for that?
Stop. Because you the main one that tell people don't overtalk you. Don't interrupt you when you talking. And this is exactly what happens.
Start making some sense.
I watch woke women like you going there and try to convince.
Why did he have to fight for his kids?
Michelle Obama's sister about to cook your ass. Go ahead and take this beating.
How many years did it take you to figure out you weren't the daddy?
I found out after 9 years.
Damn.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hell no. See,
now people can't even sell their home because it's flooded. You go over to Florida, you see everybody having a problem selling their home because everybody trying to get out of it. And these condos is you know what I'm saying? They getting high HOA fees. Like, we don't add all of that in there. And so basically all Red Pill is to break down the truth and to remove the veil from the talking points so that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. If a dude decides that he still want to get into a relationship even after having the information, cool. It doesn't mean that men are angry towards women. The problem is that women don't like the fact that men are becoming more educated about what they got to deal with.
Anton, what Red Pill meetings talk about all that?
I don't know any meetings.
Or conversations, because any real pill rhetoric I've ever heard do not touch on none of that.
But that's because you're not in the spaces to actually listen to it.
Exactly.
If you act, I'll even listen, and I hate to do this. I hate to do this because I don't even rock with Fresh and Fit. But the truth of the matter is, if I'm being 100% objective, is that most people pay attention to their late night show where they kicking women out. But a lot of their content is focused on making sure that the guys get their education when it comes to finances and cryptocurrency. They do a lot of shows on real estate, finances, cryptocurrency, credit, all of that stuff. But they don't get, and again,
I don't care what anyone says out there, regardless whether you have an issue with Fresh or Myron, you cannot disregard that they have added so much value to the so-called manosphere or just the internet in general. They have brought an abundance of value, regardless whether it's entertainment or education. They have brought it. You cannot disagree with that.
I'm not a fan of them or anything like that, but I have to be objective enough to say that they do the majority of their content on educating guys on fitness, making sure that you get healthy, getting your finances right.
That's true.
They do that stuff. That is a part of Red Pill content. It's not all about women. That's just the part that's popularized.
That's what they also push because they know they can get paid by being cruel to women on their show. Like, granted, there are different levels. And they do have content where they allegedly tell men about, getting fit and getting money, but that's not what their real focus is, because that's not what's driving their revenue. Well, in fact, they've been demonetized from almost every platform, but when they were still monetized, most of their monetization came from the crazy interactions between them and women in their studio. Exactly. It wasn't because they were going viral for telling men to invest in whatever, and 100 men did so, and they all became millionaires. That never happened.
I don't think people realize that when you're on the internet, shock value sells. Y'all wouldn't be watching Anton Daniels if y'all hadn't have seen a lot of his shock value clips or just his takes on panels or just topics in general. Anton is very boisterous, vibrant when it comes down to the way he debates. So you cannot separate shock value to just plain information. Come on now, this the internet. Stop it.
They only go viral from pulling up bullhorns and calling women bitches and throwing them out and telling them that they're the reason that they got raped. I've literally heard them say, "Oh, well, you got to kind of consider you chose him. If you got violated,
you're missing the point."
Pardon?
You're missing the point. The point
I'm not missing the point. I wasn't even
is...
done making my point. If you'll let me finish. So okay, what I was saying was that. What I was saying was that like what Jess was saying. The overall consensus of Red Pill is not to prop men up and make them better. That might be a sub part of it, but the majority of it is we're men, they're women. We are better than them. Women are the enemy. They're
You're wrong.
against you. They
That's
want to
not true.
use you. They're no good. They
Nope.
have this negative mindset and
You're
idea
wrong.
about women and companionship. And I think that they talk more so to men who never really knew who they were as men and never really had positive interactions with women. And so now those men are bitter and upset because they're kind of lame and they don't really know how to engage with women just off of their personality. So they look at people like Fresh and Fit or these other hardcore red pillars that say, you need the money, you need the access, and that's how you get the bitches. And
That's
it's
Anton Daniels included in that.
That's
like,
not
no,
what
you
they
talking
say,
to
and that's not
you're,
what
you're
we
talking
want.
to that's what
That's
they
not
say.
what they
No, that's
say.
literally what they be saying.
No.
And it's
It's
like,
not.
yeah, you might get a certain type of woman with that. You might
It's
attract
not
a
true.
certain type of female with that. But for me, when I hear a lot of this red pill shit, it don't sound like any type of man that I would ever want my daughter to date because
Because you're not listening accordingly.
they don't sound like
Percentage of
they don't even sound like they
That's not.
genuinely
Hold on,
like
hold on, hold
women.
on.
They don't even sound like they like women.
Before you
They
go,
just
bro.
want
She's
women
wrong.
to know. They're like they feel proud because they have a platform to say, I'm a man, I got money, and I can tell you to your face that I only want you around just to fuck you. And if you don't like it, then fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh my God.
they've been thrown a bone and now they're carrying it around and thinking that being mean and cruel and
Okay, she just rambling. They're only shedding light on what happens on the day-to-day that most men are not aware of. A lot of men get themselves into situations that they can't get out of because we don't understand the real nature of women. And the things that women put up with, they deal with those type of men that move like that. Yes, you have a subset group of guys out there who say, yes, I'm only going to F you on this day and that day. And guess what? The women cool with it because guess what? Those guys have achieved that level of status to do it. Whether it's financial status, the whole nine. But ultimately, red pill just teaches guys to be aware of the nature of females. That's it. It's not about acting a certain way. Can you dive down a red pill hole and go too far? Yes, and become a bad person and your thought process be jacked up? Possibly, for sure. But ultimately, it's for informative purposes.
nasty towards women is what gets them women.
Who you
Which
talking
is
about?
like
Fresh and Fit?
very stupid to me.
Fresh and
It's
Fit?
very stupid to me. Like,
Listen, I'm
Yeah.
not speaking on him. I use him as one example to illustrate a point about the fact. First of all, y'all, again, and it just shows you how
no, everybody has an opinion. Everybody's opinion is not wrong. Just
Wait,
'cause
Jazz, you gotta let him finish.
you're 100% wrong.
You
And
wrong
just
on a lot
because
of
it's
stuff.
your opinion don't mean it is right. You're wrong.
Exactly. But
You're
no,
wrong.
but
The fact of the matter,
you
listen.
can't tell me my
and
opinion is
do
wrong.
you even know where
sir.
red pill come from?
You can't tell me my opinion is wrong.
Do you know where red pill comes from?
It doesn't matter. You can't tell nobody
It
their
does
opinion
matter.
is wrong.
Oh, so the plight of
Because you try to
African
tell your opinions
Americans.
as facts.
No.
And
The
they're not.
history and the plight of African Americans, that matters when we're talking about what's going on with Black people in 2025.
We're not talking about them
But
no
the
more.
inception of where red
Let's
pill
talk about
comes
people
from,
you don't like.
the inception of where red pill comes from, that doesn't matter. So history only matters when it's applicable to your point. It doesn't matter when it's applicable to everybody else. Actually,
Because
where
red
it comes
pill,
from,
Jazz was so wrong tonight. It's not even funny.
where it
ahead,
comes
Anton.
here, I'll educate you a little bit so that you can get some insight. You and Jess. Where it comes from is the movie The Matrix. And what happens in The Matrix is they offer him the blue pill so that he can go into La La Land and still pretend like everything is normal and they're basically being programmed to think a certain type of way. Or you can take a red pill and see the ugly truth of what the world really is. For example, men don't get love. There is no safety nets for us.
Exactly.
If we fail, then we just fail. If we don't pay our child support, we go to jail. If we get homeless, then nobody gives a fuck about us. There is no safety net for men. There is nothing that is coming to save us.
Nobody.
So what red pill, for example, says is, listen, you got to make sure that you take care of yourself, focus on yourself, focus on getting to the money, focus on being successful. Everything else comes with it. The women comes with it. This comes with it. This comes with it. And then you have the option to choose, and you increase your options, or you can decide that you don't want to participate in the first place. Whatever.
Let me say this real quick. If it was not for Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit, I would not be who I am right now in my early 30s. if I had not found Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit simultaneously together, those are the first two guys in the manosphere that I actually started listening to and following, and they helped me out tremendously when it comes down to working more, trying to improve, be a better version of myself. Granted, do you have to go into it with some resolve to not, crash out in the information and still, don't be an asshole or just be a negative person all the time, for sure. But the information, very, very helpful, man, for a lot of guys. A lot of guys don't have father figures, big brothers, cousins who can actually help them and navigate when it comes down to women and just the world in general. So
whatever you decide to do is up to you, but all red pill is, and y'all got to stop boxing everybody else into the same box. All red pill is telling you the truth of what's going on in the world. That's it. Nothing more.
that's it.
If somebody decide that he want to call a chick a bitch, then that's him. That don't have nothing to do with red pill. If a dude decide that he want to go and get married and give all of his money to his woman, that's him, as long as he knew the truth before he does it. All red pill is showing you what the truth is before you jump into it and put yourself in a situation, and then you can't say that I didn't know better before I did it. That's all it is.
True.
So
Nothing more.
if that's the case, Anton, how you explained it, would you consider, because you saying that, I wouldn't consider Fit and Fresh that then. How you explained it, I wouldn't see them falling under that category.
What?
You
Some
kind of
people
gave a
radicalized.
positive, you gave a positive outlook of what red pill is, and they're
It is
definitely
positive.
Yeah, but what Fresh and Fit, they're not. I feel like
Stop
they're
it.
a fake.
Again,
No.
the individual actors and how they use the information has nothing to do with whether or not the information is relevant.
Exactly.
You can take anything that's good and make it bad. You can take anything that's bad and make it good. Like, you can take something, you can listen, the internet itself was not meant for what we using it for today. Some people take it and they do unscrupulous things and they do some really bad things on it. Other people take it and they use it for something that's good, or they use it to communicate or do more work more efficiently.
Anton has a lot of extreme takes. Y'all don't stop watching Anton. He says some things where it's like, oh snap, and people enjoy it and they keep watching it. Fresh and Fit, man, a lot of the situations that even happened on Fresh and Fit were caused by the females themselves. A lot of the ones who snapped out and said it, they started it. Fresh and Fit has boundaries on how they run their show. If you come out looking like an ass, you gonna get made an ass of. Come on now.
You can take the tool and make it to be what you want it to be, but the fact of the matter is, it's just showing you the tool. It's just showing you the truth. That's it. Now y'all want to take different people and try to label it because y'all mad at the fact that guys ain't operating the way that y'all want them to operate anymore. That's on you.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say the same thing that the women say. Who hurt you?
Exactly.
Yeah, I just
Who hurt
when I
you?
hear a lot of the red pill
Who
talking
hurt you, Jazz?
points, it just doesn't seem like it's advocating for men and women to come together in a positive way. It's always about keeping women under your thumb and
No,
looking
it's
at
not.
a woman instead of like a companion or somebody that can actually add value to your life as like somebody to use, and
No.
they're an enemy towards
Because
you.
the
They
fact
talk about it because a lot of y'all do not add value, so they tell guys not to get with women like y'all, so that they don't have too many liabilities in their life. And usually they woman end up becoming a liability, just like a car note or just like a mortgage or a rent. It's the same thing almost.
of
And I
the
don't think
matter is
that's
there's
true.
a lot of women that don't add value to your life. They looking to
Okay, but
destroy
there's
you.
also a lot of women
Exactly.
that do. So my thing is, if we know that there are a lot of women that aren't like that, why is the obsession with talking about the women that are toxic
That's
and
not
are
true.
negative?
Because
If
in
you
our
are a grown
culture
man,
today,
if you are a
there's
grown
more
man,
negative than positive as far as different women that's
no,
actually.
that's not
Exactly.
true. That's
It's
not true.
absolutely
That's
true.
what
That is
that's
true.
what then that's
It's
what
100%
these men are.
true.
Then that's
And
what
when we
these men are
solve for a problem,
deliberately
when you solve
choosing
for a
men.
problem,
Then they need to choose
solve
better.
for the
Then they
majority.
need to choose better.
When you're
Then they need to
solving
No.
choose
for a
better.
problem,
Because if
you
we
solve
know,
for the majority, you do not solve for the minority.
no,
If you
but the
have a
thing is,
Most women are very lazy. Even the good girls out there are very, very lazy. Even my own wife, man. My wife is very helpful. I love my wife, but at the same time, I have to train and teach her to be a more helpful wife, because women will fall victim to their own devices and their own emotions and become themselves. And you have to apply that pressure and knowledge to women for them to be better. A lot of them will just be lazy and liabilities. That's a fact.
small
Anton,
group
you
of
can play all
women over
these
here
semantic
that are
gymnastics games
good
all you
women,
want.
Oh my
and then
God.
you have the majority of the women over here that got the same fucking starter kit. They look the same, they talk the same. The majority of them think the same, they operate the same, and they doing the same thing against guys, and they getting the same results. Then you got to look at the majority and say, you know what? That doesn't make sense.
That's not the
Exactly.
majority though, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's
It
like
is.
it becomes the
It
majority
is.
because everybody is hyper fixated on the negative aspects of women and men and dating in general.
But you're hyper fixated on the red
I don't
pill.
have these weird ass problems with men, right? The women in my life, we don't have these weird ass problems.
I don't
Where we
have
got,
problems either, but it
do
doesn't
all of
mean
these
that I
things, and
shouldn't
I'm not
advocate for
around
men.
men. I'm not around grown single men that are established that have this nasty viewpoint towards women. They
It's
don't
not a
fear
nasty
dating.
viewpoint.
They don't
See, you
fear
already made up
dating.
in your mind, so it don't matter.
Exactly.
They don't fear dating
Negative.
because somebody gonna use them. They're living their lives and they're intentional with how they move, and they're also very selective on who they date. I think a lot of times these men, right, who are obsessed with the red pill and kind of misconstrue the message, because I'm not saying there isn't a positive thing to take from it, but I think they use it as a way to, like, instead of
Jazz is such a negative person.
finding a good woman that compliments them, they want someone to dominate over because they've been played before. So
Or
it's like,
they
I feel
just
like
realize that they don't need women at all, and women are a help. See, that's the thing. We're getting back, and y'all mad because guys finally got a microphone.
nobody is mad at y'all. I'm
Y'all
more so
mad
mad
because
because
guys have a
y'all
microphone.
fixated
Exactly.
on negative things and you wonder why you don't
How are we
have
fixated on
positive
negative
results.
things?
Anton,
Okay,
what needs to be
who created these laws that you want women to advocate to change?
What you mean? It was necessary. I think that the laws were
That's
good
not
at
what
the
I
time that they were
asked you.
created.
I asked you who created the laws that you want women
Legislators.
to now advocate to
Legislators.
change.
They
And
did it for the protection of
and
women.
legislators, who were these legislators?
I don't know them by name. If that's what
You
you're
don't know
asking.
them by name.
That's
Were
not
they
Come on,
majority
Anton.
women? Were there
Sorry?
majority women?
No, it were men.
They were men. Okay.
Mhm.
So if they were men, right?
Mhm.
Why is it up for us as women to advocate for these changes? If men are upset about the laws that they created, shouldn't they be the ones advocating to change it?
I can answer that question for you. And I'm going to make it very simple. Because at the time that they were created, you didn't even have the ability to vote.
Okay, so now that we do
But
now,
wait,
thanks
wait,
men for treating women like human beings
We
and
getting into
allowing
it
us
now.
to vote.
Wait. We
Thank
getting
you for
into the thick
not
of
going
it.
upside our
Listen.
We
head.
created it to protect you. We were
Thank
your
you. Thank you so
protectors.
much. Thank you so much.
Wait,
Now
wait.
that we've gotten
Hold
past that.
on. Wait. Because I know that you want to do this. But now,
I don't want
when y'all have the choice to do what you
to do
want, you know
nothing.
what
Just
you
be
did?
logical. This
You
shit is getting boring.
advocated for feminism. You advocated against family court.
I didn't.
Advocated against keeping the family together. We attached ourselves to Section 8. We attached ourselves to the federal government, and they incentivized us to break up our family. When y'all had the option to choose for yourselves, and it's not every woman, but a lot of women, this is exactly what happened. And then they hijacked the
And is that what's still happening?
White
Are we
women
still choosing
incentivized
government
y'all.
assistance?
White women incentivized y'all, hijacked the civil rights movement, replaced it with the feminism movement. That was just then hijacked and replaced by the LGBTQ plus community in addition to DEI. And so what happened was y'all realized that it didn't benefit y'all, but at the same time, you still advocated against it because by the time that you aged out, nobody gave a fuck about y'all opinion no more. So when we created something, when you didn't have the ability to do it for yourself, that was good for you to protect you because you didn't have the ability to work for yourself and make the same type of money as us.
That's because y'all set that up like that
you're
though.
equal,
Y'all
now
say
that
so.
your
You want
vote
me to
means the
thank
same,
you? You want me
now
to
that
thank
your
you for
vote
treating
means the
women like
same as
human beings?
ours.
Jazz is just a very nasty person. How can you say you want me to thank you for giving up? Ma'am, she don't even realize the rights that were given to women because men really care about women. And then as time went on, the feminist movement came, and then y'all wanted to dismantle those rights that y'all were given so y'all could be more like guys. She don't even understand how men really try and protect women, but she just has this negative chip on her shoulder. I don't ever see her being in a real relationship.
Now that
You
you're
want me to thank
equal,
men for finally treating women like human beings?
now
You're
that
nasty.
you
You deserve
guys
an award for that?
stop, because you're the main one that tell people don't overtalk you. Don't interrupt you when you talking. And this is exactly what
Start
happens.
making some sense.
Community.
Start making some sense
The
because my
fact of the
patience
matter
is running thin.
now that
with
you
your
have
ass.
the ability to work, and do what you want to do and vote how you want to vote and choose where you want to live. And you don't have to subject yourself to a man. And you pick how you want to pick, and you have free autonomy with your body, your choice. You control the access to be able to birth a child. You do whatever the fuck you want. Now we're saying, okay, well, since we're going to make it equal, let's make it equal across the board. You should not by default get the kid if you're not the best parent. You should not by default automatically be put on child support. And there's a lot of things that need to be updated that was created at the time when y'all didn't have the option to choose for yourself.
Mhm.
Anton, what things need to be updated?
That's all we're saying.
Finish. No, Anton, what
Man, Trey, shut your soft ass up.
things need to be updated? What laws need to be updated?
I think that we need to absolutely remove child support if somebody chooses to leave the house.
I agree. So that means that more men will not leave their seeds after they put one in a woman then.
I think that we should absolutely abolish.
Because they had to put child support in place in the first place because men were just dropping their seeds and just leaving them.
He didn't even ask you the question. He asked me the question.
I'm just saying I agree. So that then maybe men, if we eradicate child support, maybe men will be smarter.
I think that we absolutely should. I think that we should do testing at birth. You should absolutely be able to test at birth. Did you know that a woman can put depending on what state that you in, for example, Trey, that a woman can attach a man's name to a birth certificate and force him to pay child support for a child that may not even be his. And even if he proved that it's his, after she put his name on the birth certificate, he could still be held liable for that. And it has been guys that has been sent to jail as a result of it.
Michelle Obama's sister is about out of it. Just being honest. Her eyes is closed and her face is dropping.
Because the state cares more about the payment that comes through because it's basically an institution that's real systematic. It's an institution that's created to continue to keep these judges and keep the system in place and keep the lawyers employed instead of actually doing the thing that's in the best interest of the child. Men go to jail every day for children that aren't theirs, that are proven to not be theirs, but it doesn't even matter because it's left up to the discretion of the court. That should be changed 100%.
Anton, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you said something like we should be fighting for the majority and not the minority. Did you say something like that?
I said when we speak on issues, specifically with relationships, we speak on what the majority is doing and not the minority.
Okay. Because I think and maybe what you're saying, it wasn't applicable to this, is I think that the things you said are probably true, but I think they happen probably 1% of the time.
It doesn't. It happens every day.
The majority of men that are on child support aren't even paying full child support. 30% of them pay nothing.
Yeah, but if they don't pay, there's a warrant out for their arrest. And more importantly,
that's
even
not
if it is, and even if for the ones that don't have a warrant out for their arrest, here's the key. That child support debt never goes away.
Arrears. Correct.
100%. They get charged interest, they get charged arrears, and if you don't pay it, I know a guy whose children are grown and he still owes back child support.
Well, tell him to take care of his kids.
Stop it.
You don't want to have that conversation.
Why is it so easy for these men to walk
Trey
away?
asked me a question. He said, what laws should be updated?
The amount of money that a lot of guys have to pay is not reasonable and it's very unfair. And because a lot of it does not go to the kid. Majority of it doesn't.
That's not always the situation. They not taking care of their kids that they pay child support. Because I done watched plenty of men. I have watched plenty of men take. Well, it's a lot of people's fault. I don't understand why you don't know what accountability is and why you so snappy. The problem is, like I said, I know plenty of men that pay child support, and at the same time, what they do is take care of their kids. I watched my ex-husband. I watched him fight that system. I watched woke women like you go in there and try to convince.
Why did he have to fight for his kids?
Michelle Obama's sister about to cook your ass. Go ahead and take this beating.
Have to fight for his kids. We was raising the kids and he was still paying child support because that's who he is. What I'm saying is there's different situations and nuances. And for some reason you think everything
was taken care of them. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. That's my point. It's called nuance. It's called a gray area. But you're saying things one way.
Child support
and all.
But we were just talking about
it depends. Well, because child support has been abused. And don't sit here and act like you don't know that. Like, I don't know how you just sit there.
I know it can be abused.
Okay, so why won't you acknowledge certain things that you know to be true just so you could be combative?
I'm not. What I'm saying, what I noticed about you,
Cooker, Michelle Obama's sister.
Nikki, you lean very.
You ain't noticed nothing about me because I ain't said
male-centered.
nothing.
You don't hold accountability for men at all. I hold accountability for both sides.
You don't know me.
That's the
I've
difference
been
between you and I.
the only difference between you is I've been watching you for over a year, and you've only seen me maybe
what a
once.
fan! A fan.
No, not a fan. The fan is for this show, but
Over
I actually
here?
do. I like the
Hey, boo.
nuances on the show.
Yeah,
and you are a very
whatever.
pretty girl, but your spirit is very ugly.
That's
the
your
problem with you.
That's your opinion.
It is
It's the
because
truth.
that's what you present. Like, because you know certain things to be true, you are very disingenuous. I know that
That's
on
not
both
true.
sides is some bull. And I also know that you got, especially with laws going on and all this stuff going on in the judge's office, these women sitting here running everything, they got grudges. Ain't nothing fair. It needs to be rearranged. I'm not saying it should just be removed, but it definitely should be secured for pure deadbeats. Because if we don't have the money to pay something and they got to wait till we get paid, why do we expect them to just pop up with it magically? Why we can't wait till they get paid? You got a lot of women out here, they'll call and say the baby needs some shoes, and if he don't bring it right now, it's a whole issue. But hell, if you didn't have it, he got to wait till you get paid. Ain't nobody coming to collect child support on you. You a deadbeat too, and you sitting right in the house, probably don't even beat her.
Facts. Cook her ass.
Like, come on now. So everybody need to be held accountable. Child support, I think, is for straight deadbeats, because spending time and helping out and having that physical man in the house helping you with your child counts too, because you have to do the same thing. Child support should be for men who just literally just do not care.
But
period. Point blank. They don't show up. They don't come around. They don't try. They don't do nothing. That's what I think child support should be reserved for.
I approve this message by Michelle Obama's sister.
But Nikki, didn't you just say that your child's father was on child support, but he was there for his kids? He's not a deadbeat, so why was he on child support?
No, she's saying the system is flawed. So there are some men that have custody of their kids.
That's exactly what a system's broken.
And they're still having to pay child support.
What do
like, I
y'all?
watched this judge.
But Jazz,
have to put him on child support though?
But Jazz, a man doesn't have to be a deadbeat to be on child support.
Well, I don't know how it is in all states. I know where I'm at. If a woman serve food stamps and she get on food stamps and get a check and all that, they automatically put him on child support.
Oh, damn. I ain't know that.
Here's the worst part.
Yep, because they want to make sure the man is paying his part before they start paying the woman government assistance. That's a fact.
I'll give you another one, Trey. Here's a beautiful one.
They should change
there
that.
There are guys that have.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just messed. They need to rearrange. It just needs to be redone.
There are guys that documented it, showed up, actually didn't actually go on the system itself, but participated in the child's life, and also contributed into the child's life by giving money and making sure that, they actually document it. As a matter of fact, Eddie Curry, he's a former NBA player. He talks about this all the time. He said that he actually would participate in his child's life, and he would actually give the woman money. He would give her more than she would have gotten had she got on child support, because they built a nice relationship and they were actually, co-parenting effectively in a child's life. Well, guess what happened? Because of child support laws and because of the way that judges have discretion to be able to do whatever it is that they wanted to do, once the kid turned 17, she went back and said that he never gave me anything officially on child support, and he had to pay back child support for 17 years, even though he had receipts that he had been giving her money that was more than what she would have gotten. And he wasn't in the NBA anymore. And so now he's getting garnished for the rest of his life because the judge's discretion said that he still owes that child support because he never officially got on the system. He participated in a child's life.
I agree. Like, that sounds crazy. And that's super negative. I agree. I think that is an exceptional situation. I don't think that's the rule.
You would be surprised how many guys.
I think you're, Anton, I think you're right.
Do you know that people advocate against mandatory DNA testing at birth?
I think I probably would. I think I would advocate against that.
You advocate against it for what?
Like, are you talking about for people that are married or just like single people?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
But Why are you against it, Trey?
I would say if they married, I wouldn't say mandatory.
I think they should still get tested.
Even if they married, they still should. You had a lot of infidelity that happens, and even in marriages. Why wouldn't you advocate towards that? Just DNA my child. I'm okay with it. Let me make sure it's mine. Because guess what? A lot of guys want to do it, but guess what happens? The woman get mad about it, and they frown upon it, and they like, "What you talking about?" And then the guy just be like, "Oh, never mind. I'm just playing, man." But no, do it, please.
There are babies outside of marriages, like from other people. Like maybe because I'm into watching stuff like that.
They do, but at the end of the day, when they do it, they still make the man take care of it because they was married.
That needs to be updated.
There's a case that you can get in and you can separate your parental rights, because I was a victim of paternity fraud like that. And then so they should definitely test everybody, even if you're married.
I would support any man.
I'm not trying to break all these people's hearts and families up.
They should have did right.
Leave stuff the way.
No, you can't have it both ways.
I support any man.
Happy wife, happy life.
Hell no, that's the problem.
Exactly.
How many years did it take you to figure out you weren't the daddy?
I found out after 9 years.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Hell no. See,
Victor, did you not suspect it at all?
Wait. You said you was married too?
Yeah, my first wife.
Prime example.
Damn.
Prime example. My first. Yeah, I was married. My first wife.
She was still like. After you found out, she was still conscious and everything.
Well, it's a unique situation, man. I'm a glass house experiment with this conversation, right? So I was in the Army, and I got married. Then I went back and forth to basic training and AIT, all my schools and everything. And then within the early parts of our marriage, like we was only together like on paper like 5 years, but we was only together for like 3 of them. So in the toddler years of of the baby, I call her the maybe baby. Because at some point when she started growing up, I noticed she didn't have any of my features. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So I ended up going to Iraq twice. I didn't have time to divorce her. You know what I'm saying? As efficiently as I'd like to. And then later on, I got a.
Sorry, go ahead.
So later on in my time, I had somebody hit me up and let me know that my ex-wife was on the phone bragging to somebody that was a mutual friend saying that I'm not the dad.
Damn.
Like a real dumb flex. So I flew back home with a DNA test, did the swab.
Yeah, Jazz, what you got to say about that? Say something towards that, Jazz, please.
Myself found out that she wasn't mine, and then I hired my family, my attorney that handled my divorce, and then I found out that the state where it happened at, it was in Alabama. I found out that Alabama was one of other 13 states where you can, if you prove paternity, you can abolish your parental rights, and I did it.
I would have.
And even then, the judge was still trying to make me pay child support.
What?
So here's the thing. Hold on, Q. So this is perfect. This is a perfect example. What red pill does is it makes guys situationally aware before they put themselves in that position in the first place.
Exactly.
What they do, what it's supposed to do, is it's supposed to educate guys as to the do's and don'ts. If a guy comes to me today, for example, and I've had plenty of guys and I've gotten a lot of guys married, right? A guy comes to me today, he's a 40-year-old guy, and he meets a girl, right? And he says, Anton, I'm really successful. I love her. I'm the person that's going to snap him back to reality and say, okay, cool. I'm happy for you. I can't wait for y'all to get married. But did you do a prenuptial agreement? Let me make sure I put you with this lawyer. He's going to make sure that you do it the right way to be able to protect yourself, just in case 2 years from now that y'all decide that y'all want to get divorced, she's not taking half of your shit.
Yeah.
You need to do it like this. You need to do it like all it is information and the reality check of how you need to protect yourself, because when you seeing hazy because you in love, you can't see the reality of what you're going to be facing 2 to 3 years from now when the honeymoon phase is off.
And a lot of us get into blinded relationships because it feels good. The box is good. The booty's good. The physicals is hitting. She says all the sweet things at the right time. She puts you in your happy space. But guess what? That shit not gonna last like that forever. When you start seeing the bad times, you gonna start seeing the worst come out. You gonna start seeing that true nature. You gonna be like, damn, this woman was capable of this, and that's when you get hurt.
Just to tie back in the red pill. So Anton was saying like, okay, this is what red pill does. It helps men to identify these situations to avoid these situations. Okay, and my question is how? How does the red pill help men to choose a woman that they know will not do something like paternity fraud? How does the red pill help to build a man's discernment to choose the right woman that is guaranteed to not hurt him in a way by way of paternity fraud or, you know, divorcing him to take him for everything? How does the red pill help build a man's discernment on choosing the right woman?
If I had to say, because I have something different than red pill.
Michaela, mute your mic next time, man. We'll need to see you picking your boogers on screen.
That I have is my own brand called Accountable Masculinity. But if I had to say what red pill does, it depends on who you're consuming information from, okay? Because there's prosperity preachers on every level of information. Like if you want to, like you got the sprinkle lady, you know what I'm saying? You got, you know, whoever you can get your information from on the feminine side, right? But it depends on what catches your eye as a woman, because y'all don't date women, you know, unless you do, but men date women. So we know what we're looking at and dealing with based on what we can attract. I think the question you're asking is best answered by the source of information and where it comes from. The problem comes in is when women start consuming and paying attention to things that they don't like about what men discuss. Because women have plenty of things that they discuss that men probably wouldn't find favorable, but we're not invading women's spaces to find out what we don't like so we be mad about it.
Exactly.
So what are some things that you've heard, particularly in the red pill space, where you said, okay, I need to take this? Like, do you have any, like, this person said I need to do X, Y, and Z?
You want me to go answer the question for you?
But
I can answer the question for you.
I'm sorry, there was a delay. You said what?
I said I can answer the question for you if that's what you want.
Yeah, I was just curious on like how do they, like what advice do they give guys to say? Is it a type of woman they say to avoid, a type of personality, a character?
Yeah, I mean it's all encompassing. So for example, we separate the difference between, I think it's a much different there's a difference between a hoe and a housewife.
Facts.
Yep.
And so a lot of times you separate it based off of the red flags.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and look for certain things that women do that would let you know that you know, she's the person that you're supposed to be marrying versus the person that you're not supposed to be marrying.
Question.
Behavior.
So what are the red flags to show that this woman may do paternity fraud on you?
Y'all don't want to know that. You don't really want to know that answer.
I think
I do.
tell you.
And I'm gonna be honest with
I
you.
can tell you.
Man,
a lot.
Nah, it'll be a whole lot more rougher if we just go out and say don't deal with none of y'all on a serious level and make y'all go through hoops and hurdles. Now she wouldn't want to hear that because first of all, possibly all y'all are capable of it, but you have to send a woman through trials and tribulations to see what she's gonna do in certain situations. That's why they say hold off on taking one very serious and watch her actions.
A lot of the characteristics.
Well, I'm not gonna answer that simply because
I can tell you.
I think it'll hurt y'all. It will really hurt y'all feelings.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hurt your feelings on this.
Hurt our
one.
feelings. I mean, y'all like doing that anyway. So
Here's the thing. The reality of it is this right here. The main characteristics that men need to pay attention to are paying attention to women that are raised without their fathers. The ones that's raised by women. Most promiscuous women are raised by promiscuous women without their fathers, and they don't respect men.
That's true too.
Women that come from a house full of women are red flags.
That's a fact too.
Men too.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah, of course, men too. We're talking about the women though, right now.
Okay, but what I'm okay, all right.
She asked me for a red flag.
Are you saying?
One.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and for women, don't date men that come from a house full of women. It's the same thing.
Okay, are you saying that all women that have grown up without their fathers are like this?
No, the ones that fit the behavior.
Okay.
Majority.
So if two women can be born under the same roof without a father, and one not be promiscuous.
This man just said if it fit the behavior.
And the other one is, then how do you decide which one is which?
He just said it.
Okay, because if you don't know me, and I'm standing right here, and the other girls right here, we both say we came from a single parent home. Our mothers raised us, our fathers wasn't there. How would you then know which one of us is promiscuous?
She don't listen.
So it's really simple. It's just your behavior.
She does not listen.
Okay.
You
my
don't
behavior. At what point do you observe my behavior to say, okay, she's promiscuous? At what point? Is it right when you meet me and you know that I don't have a father, or is it after we go on a couple of dates?
I can tell by the way you talk.
Factor?
I can tell by the way you hold a conversation. If you
like how? Give me an example.
You combative.
Yes, you don't know what hoes look like. You're a woman.
No, I don't because here's what I'll tell you. A hoe is sitting right up in church right now, praising the Lord with a turtleneck on, right? Okay. A woman that barely has sex is walking around here with a mini skirt on with her titties out, right? Okay. So no, you can't look at a woman and say she's a hoe because you don't really know. You don't really know.
Like, it's like character. Like we've been around.
But you have to get to know someone, right? Of course. No, of course. But you have to get to know. That's why I'm asking.
That's why I just said
behavior. You have to get to know someone to understand their character. I was just going off of the initial interaction. You meet a woman, you see a woman. How do you see that woman and say she's a promiscuous whore from a single parent household? How does the red pill help you to sharpen that eyeball?
Well, we talk about behavior. We let you talking shape that outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah. You said you let us talking.
Can I ask his behavior? He said behavior first.
I think.
So, what kind of behavior does a promiscuous woman portray?
Argumentative.
Really?
Is you trying to call Jazz a promiscuous woman?
That's fine. That's fine.
This is an 80-20.
Very silly to say because there are plenty of women.
Yo, we're gonna end this right there, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all watch the podcast in its entirety. This segment was crazy. It was crazy, man. When you look at the back and forth, the understanding, trying to figure out what red pill means to men. A lot of guys don't like it. A lot of women don't like it. But ultimately, it's basically just letting you know what's out there, the true information about the reality of the world between dating, finances, whatever it is. Red pill is nothing more than just giving you the truth of something. You take it and you do what you need to do with it. Hopefully, you don't crash out with the information because that's what a lot of people end up doing. They call that red pill rage. A lot of these guys learn the truth and learn the true nature of how women actually operate in relationships. Women can be cold, man. I love women. I'm married. I love my wife the whole nine. I got 2 daughters, but guess what? Women can be very cruel. Y'all think guys cruel. Women can be even crueler sometimes. Like for real. So I used to be one of them guys that think women, the sugar spice everything nice. And that ain't the case. So I think people just need to learn the discernment and learn how to move and understand the opposite sex. And that's really more than what it is, man. But women don't like that. Once you start learning the truths on how they actually operate and you start calling it out, they don't appreciate that. They don't like it. And since they don't like it, they're going to say you're toxic, masculinity, you're misogynist, you're sexist, the whole nine. But you just speaking truth and facts. Because I know plenty of women, I see how they operate, and if you move a certain way, you're gonna get what you want sometimes. If you don't, you ain't gonna get what you want sometimes. I've seen it time and time again. Trust me. They move a certain way by certain actions that are done to them. It's very crazy. It's weird. So let me know what y'all think about this segment. Y'all give me y'all thoughts on this segment. Like I said, Anton Daniels, man, I rock with him. Rock with the podcast, the whole nine, everything that he does. Yeah, y'all watch it in its entirety. Y'all like the video, comment below. This is JayBReacts, and until next time, y'all, peace.